Hey everybody, welcome back to Visual Novel Book Club. I'm your pal Slowbeef. With me, of course, my good friend Devious Vacuum.
Hello everyone. I'm not the only one who took notes this time. Aren't you excited?
Well, let's just forget the introduction to get right to the big twist. My good friend Turbo C.
I'm Kano this time. Kano. Shit, I keep calling him. Welcome to Mortal Kombat.
You're right. We should do it that way. Actually,
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's rewind time. My good friend Achi.
Is it not Aki?
And Aki? No, isn't it
Achi?
Achi? It's Achi.
I'm joking. Off Turbo's Kano.
Oh, of course.
Kano.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. And then Raiden and Sonya Blade.
I'm sorry. Kano is still, even though I know, my good friend Kano.
Yeah, that's me still.
Yeah, to you. My good friend Tama.
Yes, the cat. I am a cat.
So I have the list of our real names in my head all the time, and now I'm trying to struggle. My good friend Osawa.
Yeah, I lost the draw.
Somebody's got to get the win.
Yeah.
Who's the sixth person who didn't have anybody?
It's me.
Yeah,
I'm the narrator.
I'm Minorikawa. I had a suggestion, because DVAC always takes notes and stuff, is that why don't we divide and conquer, and we all pick a character and take notes on that character? Not play act them, as maybe I've led you all to believe, but,
Yeah, it's a little less interesting than...
I thought all acting was in place.
You mean I got this outfit for nothing?
And the head won't come off. It's trapped in there.
Unless...
You gonna do a Dark Souls run after this?
So they took notes about the characters. So I could have not taken any notes, but I don't totally believe them, so I did take notes anyway.
Right. DVAC doesn't believe in us.
Also, didn't you finish before we decided that we were going to do that?
Maybe.
I read my character twice because the first time I didn't take notes, so I had to read it again.
I took notes, and then I took pictures of my notes from my
As
laptop
proof?
on the bus. No, because I didn't want to bring my laptop down here, and I felt like that's what Minorikawa would have done.
Wow. He's really improving your life, huh? He's like inspiring you.
Yeah, I don't know why he is, but no, actually I did. I went into this last time, how I feel like he's like a very positive version of like Indiana Jones or Jack Bauer, of that like never give up attitude, but no matter the setback.
Yeah, he had some good scenes this time.
He does the right thing, even though it annoys him to do so.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter, like, what gets in his way. It's just like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, some action movies, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, are just the hero failing to do what they're trying to do, but trying over and over and over again.
And their editor yelling at them the entire time.
Yeah, exactly. But who do we want to start with, anyway?
You know, Sawa is actually a good start because he doesn't interact with anyone this chapter.
Who's that?
Osawa, my character.
Go, well, take it then.
Let's get it out of the way.
All right. That's... All right.
Gotta rip that band-aid off first.
So, last we saw Sawa, he was having a weird flashback about how he also did the little human experiments on his own.
He injected one of his daughters, but which one?
Yeah. It was just as Makino got to the house. His boss, who is also his wife's father, who he suspects is the other one doing.
Is that a common thing in Japan, by the way?
Injecting your daughters with viruses?
No, marrying the boss's daughter.
As they say, it was a political marriage.
Yeah, that's kind of an international thing, I think.
Yeah, that's an everywhere thing.
What? Okay.
It's less common now. That was like a trope kind of deal. Like, I don't know if people really, really do it, but it's like, you know, like dating the boss's daughter. What am I thinking? Oh, you know, my career, romance, no respect or something, you know?
It's very 50s.
This is Rodney Dangerfield kidding.
Yeah.
My political marriage.
No, I asked because we were watching Monster, and that had a same sort of,
Monster like with Charlize Theron, or Monster like an anime?
Charlize Theron, that's what I was asking about Japan.
That's what I was saying! What's the other monster?
Monster the anime is about German people. It's not about Japanese people.
Well, it starts with the... Anyways.
Yeah.
This is too many layers.
Can you imagine? Wait, look at the level of nerd here, where you say monster, and the assumption is not the movie with Charlize Theron as Amanda Weenus, or whatever her name is.
You should all watch
Anyway.
Monster the Anime. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like critically acclaimed. Like, this isn't like a...
Anyway, so this chapter, he reflects again on his own experiments, and he says that he had a good reason to do them. But he also can't deny that he found it interesting as a scientist. So we have that. And then he tries to get out of the house to meet his boss. And starts to sneak out. But Detective Banana puts a rubber duck in his shoe.
This is so good.
Kajiwara is so good in this chapter.
I'm going to keep calling him Detective Banana because that's a better name.
Detective Banana. Yeah, it's easier to remember.
I just love his budget booby traps.
Yeah, and you think it's a goof sound, and then it is literally a rubber ducky.
Yeah. And then you get little like horror photo of Detective Banana with a flashlight attacking him.
What I like is Osawa kind of throws the duck at him, but he just kind of catches it like it's a weapon.
Yeah, like in one hand, just like, I got this.
And that's supposed to be cool.
That's so funny. Like, I can imagine the actor like going deadpan and like just catching it out of the air like a trained, police officer.
Like an assassin.
Honestly, of all the detectives in this story, it's a tie between him and Sasayama for the coolest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this should be Kajiwara's story, really.
It really should be, yep.
Yeah.
Like, imagine Osawa's story with Kajiwara not there.
It can. It would be the most... I'm not kidding. Like, he's carrying it. Like,
Yeah.
I could just care less about Tanaka and Boss Face, whatever that guy's name is.
Makino, yeah.
Sure.
But also keep in mind that if it was, if he had his own TV series, he would watch that TV show. So, like, yeah, he's definitely somebody that would carry this.
Well, he's getting his own manga, apparently. So, Detective Banana asks Osawa where he's going, and you have a few options here, but it doesn't really matter. You can choose any of them. And then he gives you one of those listening device trackers that we saw in the last chapter that
Minorikawa had.
Yeah, Minorikawa had.
He says, "Bullshit, I don't need this. Give me the rubber duck."
Yeah. Yeah, so Osawa eventually takes it, but before that he throws it on the ground, which is important. And then there's like a really boring sequence about his meeting with his boss, Makino. Basically, Makino admits that, he took the antiviral samples, and he did it because...
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like,
immediately.
you're damn right I ordered the code red and I'd do it again.
Yeah, but at least then, like, Tom Cruise goaded it out of him. This was just
True. It really wasn't any pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did it when they took some samples out to do animal testing. So that's how he got the samples. So he didn't even need to get to go past security and get the samples from the lab. But he also says that Osawa can't do anything about this. He gives him some tough politics talk about how it's all about money and about how the Ua virus is also in the wild being weaponized by some countries.
What countries could that possibly be that it's being deployed in the Middle East to kill people?
Zanzibar.
It's probably France.
Yeah, so everyone wants the antiviral, both the country who weaponized it and the countries who are being attacked with it. So a lot of money is involved.
And Osawa's even just like, I didn't know the Ua virus could be used with a bomb. And he like gets excited about this.
Yeah. It's like, wait, this thing carries through an explosion? I did great. Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not getting politics, but like, if they steal the antiviral, can't they just make more?
So this is all right. It's kind of BS, but it's also the glass shield theory of like politics, where it's like, if you do something defensive for yourself, you are technically committing an offense against someone else because you're saying, now you can't attack me that way, but I could attack you. Like, the notion is like Star Wars, the satellite defense system, which is bullshit and was never really created. You know, that could shoot down nuclear weapons that Reagan was big on. Even though that's defensive, it's technically offensive because you can say, hey, now you can't shoot nukes at me, but I can shoot them at you and you can't stop that.
Oh, okay. So it's like we've got the virus, so you can't use it against us.
It's like we've got the cure, so you can't infect us with that virus, but we can implicitly do it to you. You know?
Leaves out the possibility of detente.
There you go. Yep.
Which is also because, like, as soon as they use the virus once, then that means that the other countries can isolate the virus from the people it got infected, so they can use it as a weapon as well.
I'll have to remember that.
But, I mean, I think it's kind of silly here in a way, because I don't know, like, I feel like a cure for that virus would get out. You know, like, I don't think it would really work as well as they're making it out to be.
Well,
but like,
they're like implying that, everybody wants this antiviral, and if only one person has it, then we can charge whatever we want. And
it's nitpicky not to accept it as a plot device. I'm just saying, like,
they said it took years and tons of money to develop this antiviral.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very fast-acting virus, apparently.
Yeah.
It kills a lot of people in seconds.
Yeah, it's like super Ebola.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it is very much a violation of almost every single Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Makino accuses Osawa that he doesn't really care about ethics. He just cares about being a scientist and just faking it, which sounds true to me.
Mm-hmm.
The way that Makino, he's so, like, he wields his power, like, so bluntly. Like, it's very, like, he's used to this. He has no expectation that Osawa will do anything other than fall in line. He's done this very many times. Like, he's not afraid of admitting anything in front of this guy because he's just, like, so secure in his power. And it was just, like, it's not a scary scene, but I can understand why Osawa gets scared.
Yeah, Osawa does fall in line immediately. Because Makino also knows about the American offer, and he tells him not to take it and to call them straight away to refuse the offer, which he does. And that's about it. He leaves the car, and then his listening device tracker goes off, and he suspects the driver, Makino's driver, and gets really shouty at him. But the driver doesn't seem to know what's going on and just runs away and gets in the car and drives away.
They also don't show a picture of the driver's face. So I'm wondering if it's going to be important. But, like, the driver actually is
They've got a mascot head on, too.
I think they did. I think they didn't want to hire another actor, so it was probably one of the...
Probably.
Yeah. So then he goes back in the house, and Ai returns, and doesn't do much. He just tells her that he's not taking the American job. And he goes back into his office, I guess. And he's worried about the investigation, the kidnapping investigation, so he looks up how the police does kidnapping investigations on the web.
Yeah, he just Googles it. How do kidnappings work?
It's the most boring thing in the world. Can you imagine having to watch somebody Google something in your action movie?
What if he went to WikiHow instead?
They did that on American Horror Story, I just want to mention.
Oh, of course they did.
Anyway, sorry. They did.
To look up kidnappings?
How to escape a cult. They print out a thing. I looked this up on WikiHow, and it's an American Horror Story cult. Anyway, I'm sorry.
We can't do it. Yeah, if we start talking about that, it'll never be back on track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for Slowbeef's other podcast about American Horror Story.
So the internet tells him that police tend to prioritize catching the culprit. They prioritize catching the culprit over saving the kidnapping victim. So he gets really stressed, and the only thing that can help him is going to the Ayaka Kamiko website, his favorite J-pop singer.
Which always relieves my tensions is when I start engaging in forum debates. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't I can't shake this image of Osawa just going to the worst internet places and just like earnestly asking for advice. Like, Yahoo Answers, my daughter's been kidnapped, what do I do? And just getting the most terrible advice he could get.
I'm looking right now to see if anyone asked that on Yahoo Answers.
Well, these 3 guys on a podcast responded, but I don't know if they were completely serious.
Oh my god, you will not believe how many questions there are that says my daughter was kidnapped?
I can't believe it.
With a question mark.
What he writes on the forum is that he creates a topic about how this J-pop singer should go to America and use better recording studios.
Because he's sad that he doesn't get to go to America.
Yes.
Aww. And he's like wistful. It's like, I hope she gets to go to America and her career takes off.
Yeah, and then the listening device tracker starts going off again. And this is where we can get his single bad ending this chapter. And that if on Kano's timeline, you choose to call Detective Banana at this point. So he's busy on the phone. If you do that, then Osawa gets crazy trying to find the listening devices. Basically wrecks the room and then just loses it, and you get a bad ending.
And this is the second bad ending where Osawa loses his mind over a minor annoyance.
Yes. But if Detective Banana is not on the phone at this point, then he comes in and tells Osawa that actually his listening device is broken because he saw it on the ground earlier.
So rude.
And then he does that thing again when he says he has some bad news. And tells Osawa to keep calm. And the bad news this time is that he doesn't have enough bentos, enough box lunches.
Well, he ate them. He ate
And he's
2
like, and they were
lunches
delicious.
in addition to his own lunch.
It made me hungry. I was like, I won't get a bento box, man.
The pork was so tender and the batter so crisp.
And then we go to the best sequence in this chapter for Osawa.
It
Yeah.
suddenly
Which
turns
is-
into cooking with Kazuhara.
Yeah, Osawa and Detective Banana in the kitchen cooking.
So good.
Yeah, so Osawa is getting hungry and needs food. And turns out he can't do anything on his own.
He can't, and I love that. I love that he's this viral scientist and can splice genomes or whatever, but he doesn't know how to operate a microwave.
He's
and
basically
he
a
doesn't know how to
child.
make- Yeah, and,
I can see it.
he's whiny about it too. It's like, don't make me do this. I can't work this stuff.
Yeah, you didn't tell me I have to put the food inside before I turned the microwave on.
Yeah, yeah.
Sad.
But like, yeah, I have to admit I can totally see it. You know what I mean? It rings absolutely true to me. So,
Well, I've seen your cooking shows, so yeah.
well, that's why. There you go.
He's not listening on purpose for the comedic value, of course, always.
Sure. Look, I know to put a friggin' thing in a microwave. I mean, that part. Come on now.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. Like, I mean, it makes sense for Osawa, but yeah, it was just like, ugh, any amount of pity I had for this guy has evaporated.
You had pity.
His daughter got kidnapped.
In the way that Mr. T pities people, not in like a good way.
So, I want to ask, because I didn't have time to read English for this chapter. Did they do anything with the sound the microwave makes?
They explain that Kajiwara refers to it as a dinger, and
Oh, yeah.
Osawa doesn't know what he's talking about by calling the microwave a dinger.
Yeah, so in Japanese, a very common way. So the microwaves make a chin sound when they're done. So it became a verb. If
A
you want
what
to microwave
sound?
chin.
Chin?
Yeah. So it's the Japanese ding.
Okay.
Chin.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it.
So it became a verb in Japan. So if you want to say you're going to microwave something, you're saying you're going to chin it. And it's a very common verb. People use this.
Yeah, is it like nuking?
Yeah, it's like nuking.
Right. Because of the nuclear explosion sound, American microwave.
So that's what Osawa doesn't know in Japanese. And then there's a little tip there that says that the game's writer's microwave makes more of a P sound than a ding sound. but they didn't change. But in his house they still don't call it like peeing.
In English, it talks about how really a microwave makes a beep sound, but if you called it a beeper, that would be something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think the joke is better in Japanese.
Yes.
Okay, what next? So, Detective Banana actually turns out to be a pretty good cook.
I love how he has Osawa help him, and then he's like gives up, and he just has him sit down. He gives him some bubble wrap to pop to help him calm down.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't calm him down.
No.
Nothing calms him down.
He still pops the bubbles though. So what did they call the dish Detective Banana makes in English?
Isn't it just like eggs over pickled vegetables and rice?
It's an medamayaki don.
Yeah, we don't call it anything. It's not like it's just eggs over rice and pickled vegetables.
Yeah, so it's a donburi, so it's a don. It's like gyudon.
Yeah.
Everything that's in a bowl of a rice is a don.
My nuts, like, you don't microwave an egg like that, though, right? Like, or you shouldn't, in my opinion.
I don't think he microwaved the egg. He made the egg separately.
Oh, okay.
The microwave the rice.
Microwave the rice.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that we can make this at home by following the recipe.
Yeah, and Osawa loves it, and this is very much something that a kid would like. The kind of food a Japanese kid would really like.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is this going to be another Hate Plus thing where we all make pickled vegetables and rice for Osawa?
Be
It's
a
not.
lot easier.
It's not going to be that. I
Not
refuse.
even a microwave banana?
He still doesn't want a banana for dessert, though.
Yeah.
That was great.
Oh, God.
Now we're going back to Steins Gate, I guess. Yeah, and doesn't want to do the dishes, even though Banana tells him to. And then Tanaka comes in, and Tanaka wants to show him an email he got from Hitomi, where Hitomi mailed him during Achi's chapter that she's looking for a blue van. But he also does something very suspicious here, and that he also says he has no idea where she is, and he asks if Osawa knows anywhere she might be. Even though I think in Achi's chapter, she specifically says that she emails him her location.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he tells her to stay put.
She tells him that she's in, that they're in that storeroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That makes Tanaka very suspicious to me.
And then,
and after he leaves, Detective Banana reveals that his listening device tracker went off, so it means that Tanaka has a listening device on him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the chapter ends. To be continued.
Gotcha. All right.
dun dun dun.
Who's up next? Your pick, Devac. Your narrator. Come on.
Let's hear from Achi.
Okay, so we open up. So we've got the guy with the gun with the cane who knows he's Achi's name's pointing it at him and Hitomi, and then that one member of the kidnappers with the floppy hair hits the guy from behind with a lead pipe.
Yeah, Tariq.
Yeah, Tariq. And since Achi's stupid, he thinks the guy's helping him, so he's like, hey, well, thanks for the assist, guy who literally just tried to kidnap this person before. And of course, the guy swings the pipe at him. And we get, the typical, all right, I guess I'll let my fist do the talking from Achi. And he cracks the guy and puts him down with one punch. But, doesn't follow through like he never does on things.
Ice cold right out of the hopper for Achi.
It's true, though. And then instead of like he's takes a second to evaluate the situation while the guy is down, and of course, in his hesitation, the guy pulls a gun on him, and now Achi's behind the 8-ball, and luckily, up pops guy with the cane who knocks the gun away, and then Kidnapper and cane guy both grapple off as Achi and Hitomi flee. And of course, because I don't know what goes through their mind. Every so often they need a break, and so they sit morosely in a children's park.
I feel like every chapter of Achi's has been exactly the same.
It's always the same. It's always them sitting down for a second and be like, I guess they're not going to find us now. Oh, darn it, they've caught us again.
This particular one where they're sitting dramatically on a seesaw facing opposite directions from each other is just so precious.
Perfectly balanced.
It's the most One Tree Hill looking shot you could have got.
I think the director saw that seesaw and decided that they need to do something with it.
Absolutely.
God. So anyway, they take a park, and then, of course, in this sort of dramatic shot moment, Achi has another one of his I wonder if she still likes me moments. But then, of course, in 5 seconds later, the friggin' kidnapper guy shows up again. But this time, he's brought his assistant, which looks like young Patton Oswalt behind him, chasing these two morons out, and they flee, which leads directly to a keep out.
I have to say that's so great because in my notes I wrote, now he's got another boring white guy with him.
It's true. They got a whole damn blue van of them.
Is it just me, or is he the main white guy look like David Tennant?
A little bit. He's got a little Tennant to him. Yeah. So do we just want to plot? Yeah, the Tariq guy. He has like a little like, David Tennant on a bender.
Yeah, a little older, a little younger, and then just crazy eyes.
Yeah. So we just want to power through these, or do we want to swap back and forth to keep out?
Well, just keep going.
All the way through, cool. So after we have that little interlude there, we find them that they are dashing through that while Hitomi and Achi are fleeing from these two kidnappers, that they rush through the street fight, which we will encounter later. And they get to an intersection where they know that the people are chasing behind them, but the cars are absolutely packed. And so Achi's brilliant idea is, we can make it. And so he sets off, which immediately triggers like almost like a comic movie scene where all the cars smash into each other. They luckily don't get hit, but it causes a massive traffic jam.
So if you choose not to do that, by the way, they still get away, but it causes a bad ending for
Kano,
I believe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where we get, like, there's a possible jump there. But finally they make it through, and it seems like the massive traffic jam has trapped the kidnappers on the other side of the intersection. And we get another one of Achi's Biff Tannen sayings where he mixes up Idle Feet with the Devil's Playthings, and those are always fun. So they end up, and they go to the first place they see, which turns out to be a theater, the storeroom in a theater. They see like a bunch of flyers out front, and they sneak into this storeroom.
It's the same theater that Minorikawa is going to visit later, and that has that
the broken dry ice machine.
Yeah.
Yep. which they might have just said it's a plot point that it's broken. So you get a choice here to back out the door or sit tight, and you know the proper choice here is to sit tight. And of course, the kidnapper guy shows up immediately and decides to make his presence as possibly as obvious as you could by putting his hands on the door and then smushing his face against it, because it's a glass like frosted window, to be like, guess what, kiddies, I'm here. And basically, luckily, they are bailed out in this obvious situation where he's going to catch him because there's no other exit. They are trapped. And by two like people who work at the theaters showing up and being like, can we help you, sir? And I guess that's enough to scare the guy off, because he leaves. And the kidnappers decide to they try to so the kidnapper leaves, and they hear these guys talking, in which one of them keeps coughing a lot and mentions the dry ice machine, I think, at this point. That why? Hey, I don't understand why it's still sucking power and why we can't really breathe well in this room.
There are entire mini stories in tips about all those side characters.
Yeah, every time you click on it, it is a full page worth of text, which may come in handy later. But anyway, those two guys leave, and they just kind of sit around and talk and decide what they're going to do next.
And Achi finally figures out that the kidnappers are also trying to get Hitomi. Like, he goes through, he has, like, a moment where he, like, finally fucking puts 2 and 2 together and is like, oh, they wanted her to go to the van so they could kidnap her, too!
Well, the best part about this is, like, they're like, she gives, it comes to a choice in acts. You get to choose to be like, oh, is he really stupid or just kind of stupid? So
The really stupid answer is really good.
yeah. And it's just like, well, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what's going on. But anyway.
They're just going to keep kidnapping each other and giving ransoms, and then you get infinite money.
Well, as I like to call it, it's the Perpetual Sister Kidnapping Machine that he invented. which Hitomi points out is a really dumb idea. and just basically the point is that she initially thought that her sister was in there by herself because that's why she would have to go get it. Otherwise, they would just release her. Obviously, she's not in there by herself. The van keeps driving away. But anyway, they realize that they are actually trying to these people are trying to get Hitomi for a reason. And then they realize that, maybe the wrong sister was kidnapped, to which Achi immediately responds, wait, did they want the hotter one?
Oh my god.
And so the guys who, as they are having this little moment of sort of, Achi being stupid and Hitomi, just dealing and laughing at him, the guys who work for the theater company show up and remember to lock the storage room door. So they are stuck. And they have to reach out for help. Achi tries his friend Susumu, who, not his friend, his former running buddy in the gang who took over and who he has beef with now. Susumu is like, you got balls to call me, and then hangs up on him.
Like that, but in a 12-year-old voice or whatever, like 17-year-old boy voice.
Oh, absolutely! It's so dramatic of the gangs of Shibuya that
the studs of Shibuya.
Yeah. And so at this point, Hitomi reaches out to Tanaka, and there's a bad ending here if Tanaka isn't able to respond on Osawa's route. Basically,
yeah, if you're in the kitchen and you have options who you're going to have to cook for you,
yeah,
and one of them is Tanaka. And
that's right.
If you do that, then
so if Tanaka's cooking for you, he doesn't respond to Hitomi's email. So Achi kicks his way out, and Kane Guy is literally there just waiting for him, and he just cracks him in the head, and you get a bad ending. But if he does reply, he basically, like, of course, Achi gets this moment of jealousy whenever Tanaka's involved, and the choice you get is like, okay, what does he have to say, or ignore it, which any reasonable person would actually wonder what the guy has to say. And he tells them to wait there instead of letting them out. And Achi just is like, fine, whatever. I guess we'll just wait here for your boyfriend to show up and unlock us.
God, I can't deal with how everybody thinks that they're dating, and that's just going to keep being the joke until the plot is resolved.
Yeah.
This is just the way it's going to be, and including when like you're in this super high stress environment, but apparently it's like every like romantic comedy where we're going to have a will they won't they while people are trying to kill you, because of course that would be the first thing on your mind,
right?
But anyway, so they just end up sitting there waiting, and after 20 minutes, they sort of run out of things to say, so Hitomi asks him if he'll ever be friends with Susumu again, and you get a flashback to, like, the most overly dramatic 16-year-olds, having a moment scene of Susumu being like, remember that one time when you said that every man gets one request in life that has to be granted? And he's like, not really. And he's like, that's the heaviest thing you ever said, man. So this is what I'm doing. I'm on my knees. I'm begging. Stay with the gang. You can't leave. And Achi just turns around, and as he is weeping tears, he pretends that, no, I hate all of you. You're pathetic, and I'm going to leave. And just so they'll all unite in anger against him, but, remain a gang. And, okay, so that's...
It's like when a wild animal's following you and it thinks you're its new, owner or whatever. Right.
I said,
to be really mean.
Just get.
Go on, Sparky. I hate you. You throw the rock. Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those moments, but he kind of expresses his Suzumo, and he's like, I don't know if I can ever go back to them again. Well, Suzune needs a heart transplant. And it's so tricky because it has to be done in 4 hours, and also she has Bombay blood. And
somehow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll give them a little bit of credit for doing that rare blood type trope, which always kills me, but at least this time they're like, wait, no, here it's a thing, and I didn't even look if it really is a thing, but...
So it is a thing. I did look in Wikipedia, and it's a real thing, and then it has that uses in popular media section, and most of it is anime.
Yeah.
Of course, because the Japanese heard rare blood type, and they put none of the stories. It makes so much sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a trope in a lot of things, and it's usually like organ donation stuff where it's like, you need to find a match. Oh, it's that person who hates you, or your father who you never knew, or blah, 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 that kind of thing.
Like, it's not enough just to have an organ transplant, right? Like, that's not hard enough as it is. It also has to be doubly hard because you have a rare blood type.
Like, they just keep stacking stuff on top of each other to make it as tragic as possible.
And then Hitomi has...
Well, we don't know yet. So there's only a dozen, there's like a couple dozen people in Japan with that blood type, and it's so rare. And of course, she asks him, what would you do if you found a person who was a donor? And his answer is anything. And boy, was that pretty heavy with the foreshadowing.
I don't think Achi realizes that means killing someone.
Yes.
I think he's too stupid to realize what she was asking.
Like, she'll be like, Achi, what if I had it? He goes, well, that'd be something. Like, what if I had that heart transplant and you could use it to save your sister? Right now. Right this moment, Achi.
Right. I mean, anything. And by anything, I mean, run around a lot.
I guess I'd ask you nicely.
He also conveniently doesn't tell her about the rare blood type thing.
Bombay blood. My sister needs a heart transplant. Bombay blood.
This is younger, fitter Homer.
Oh my god. It is, though.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, it is? It's like Homer when he didn't lose his hair.
Yeah. And he cared about the environment.
Yeah, right. So anyway,
it doesn't make more sense now about how the man with the cane told him that killing Hitomi would help him.
Well, it makes sense to everybody except Achi.
Yeah.
So anyway, at this point, if you get another bad end, if Tama takes off the suit the first opportunity she has.
That's one of the best bad endings in the chapter. So.
God.
Oh my god, it is disturbing as fuck because basically the assassin shows up, and now. We don't need to ask too many questions, but let's just describe the scene. The assassin shows up in the cat suit, in which you're not too worried at first, and then you see that the person has a bloody paw.
And a bloody mouth.
Yes, well, first you see the bloody paw with the keys, then you realize it's the assassin, and then you turn. There's like this slow framing of the shot where it's just like, light behind and bloody mouth.
For no reason. It's so funny.
It's so great, and then suddenly just has a gun.
Sorry, I got a nosebleed in here. Anyways, hands up.
Yeah. Like, did the assassin eat someone on the way in? Like, how did that work? So and then the assassin kills you if this had gone wrong. But anyway, if this doesn't happen, then what happens is that someone shows up and opens the door. It's the man with the cane. You have a choice to make a run for it or wait and stay safe. The correct option is to wait and stay safe. The guy with the cane gets a phone call, and it seems that someone else is telling him where they are, which immediately begs the question of, are they tracking them with a tracking device, or are they using many cameras? But of course. So they sneak out while he's getting distracted by this phone call, and immediately run into another kidnapper with a knife. And Achi gets ready to fight because he's gonna do his old trick of knocking the weapon away with one hand and one punching them. But suddenly, as the game called it, a small-statured woman with Middle Eastern features drops down from above and just chops. The word they use is chop in the translation, so I guess like judo chop from Austin Powers, knocking the guy out cold. And Hitomi is shocked and says, Kanan? And then we hit our to be continued.
Oh, I thought it was Canaan.
It could be Canaan.
Because isn't the town of Canaan spelled like that?
Is that Canaan from the... Okay, there we go. Then it's Canaan.
I think it's Kanan in Japanese, so but that doesn't mean anything.
Oh.
It's canon. I was...
I have to ask, does that name mean anything to anyone?
Canaan? It's biblical, but I don't remember how.
Yeah, the biblical Canaan was... Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean a specific thing.
Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
Well, they talked about but it was Osawa took Maria to the Middle East because she was interested in it, or something like that. That's the only way I could think that they would have like a connection to any kind of people from that vague area of the world.
The Middle East.
No, I'm asking just because of the specific Japanese Japanese work that also has Kanan, and it has some connections to this game. So, but if you don't know it, then it's okay.
Are you going to tell us, or is it like a spoiler or something?
No, it's not a spoiler. I mean, there's an anime series called Kanan, which is a sequel to this game.
Oh, yeah.
From about 10 years ago when this game came out, and I think it's better if you don't know. If you know the anime series, it's probably better if you didn't know that it was a sequel to the game before playing the game.
Gotcha.
Because it's about an assassin who's a Middle Eastern girl. But
Yeah, now that you mention it, I do remember that this was a sequel to that.
Who's next?
I guess we can go over to Tama since she featured in this part.
You wanna tell us about the best route of the chapter?
Yeah, honestly. So Tama is kind of a bad place to start because both of her endings, like one choice, you just get a bad ending, which she's out with all the broken burning hammers and she's trying to figure out what she needs to do. The demo's about to start and it's all broken, and you can get the choice of sell something else or still try to sell burning hammer, which if you choose sell something else, there's the luck stone, which she wished upon to give her a miracle, and of course she throws it away in anger because this obviously isn't any kind of luck at all. But then she thinks, I can sell the miracle stones. And they try to sell the miracle stones, and they're a big hit. Everyone wants them. There's like a picture of all the middle-aged housewives with their lucky stones. They'll make you happy. And after that's a hit, I think Tama gets promoted to the CEO of some kind of company.
she goes into business with Chiri and
Yeah.
Nagashita?
Yeah, they all go into business and they're like flying to Africa so they can go get African miracle mud, which is their next project. And, the game goes into all this detail about how happy Tama is and how her life is starting now and everything's great for her. But too bad, that's not her actual ending. So she doesn't get to be happy.
And in another bad ending for another character, you can see how they actually sell those luck stones.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very funny.
God, so funny.
Right. So, of course, the real answer is to try to sell the burning hammer. And she notices the mark on the boxes and remembers someone saying, maybe even herself saying, that this is like something you would get at a 100 yen store. So she figures she'll check the knick-knack shop to see if maybe it's there. And lo and behold, there are 4 big boxes of burning hammer.
She remembers she saw boxes there when she looked at the necklace.
Right.
That's why she goes there.
Yeah. So, apparently Yanagashita got ripped off in this deal since he could have just got it at the knick-knack shop.
Yeah, jeez.
I don't know how much he spent, but it was like, I don't know, some ridiculous amount.
I'm getting the feeling Yanagashita's not a good business guy.
No.
No, he's just running into some bad luck. But, Tama goes to the knick-knack shop and she begs the shopkeeper, who is the recycling guy in, like, the jumpsuit. Looks like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
and he can't sell her the stuff because someone else has already reserved it. So you've got a couple choices here. Or actually, no, there's no choice here. If you haven't done a certain keep out, you can't leave the store without that burning hammer. Everything is riding on this. So she points behind the guy and says, look, there's the chupacabra, and it works. And she yoinks the stuff and runs out with it. But she knocks over a can of gasoline on the way, which leaks over into somebody's discarded cigarette, which blows up the store, and now Tama is a wanted fugitive fleeing the country.
Yeah. I forgot about that. That was a good one.
It was pretty good.
So until you start clearing keep-outs, either Tama is completely happy, or she is a fugitive. So there's no middle ground there.
Right.
Now, if you do the other thing, however, now Tama has some choice.
Right. So there is something that someone needs to do, because the only reason that it got this way was because the person who wanted to get the stuff was not there. So if she is there, you run into Miku, who is the champion fighter of a cosplay bar. And Tama challenges Miku for the burning hammer. And one of the things you can do is... there's 3 things. I didn't do all of them.
I did.
But you can do rock, paper, scissors for it, which I figure, okay, that's probably it. And you lose. You throw paper. Miku throws scissors. So
she only throws paper?
She only throws paper, and of course it goes into this thing. It's like best 2 out of 3, not best 3 out of 5. Okay, that was a practice round. And they're at this for like half an hour. And
She only throws paper, and Miku only throws scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she keeps thinking, I'll do like reverse psychology. Like, this time she won't pick scissors. Like, she won't expect me to do paper this many times in a row. But it keeps failing her. And she's just like, I'm the worst at rock, paper, scissors.
It's very Bill and Ted's 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
so you can lose the burning hammer that way. And of course you're dejected now, and you're, you kind of trudge your way to the demo event, which of course didn't happen because the product wasn't there. But you see that it's all torn up, and it looks like there was a riot, and Minorikawa's there, and he's all beat up and looks up at Tama and is like, death, have you come to take me? And he's out of it, and he's like, okay, I'll go, but you have to beat me at a challenge first. And the challenge is rock, paper, scissors. And I like that Tama is, of course, worried about this, but the moment Minorikawa challenges her to rock, paper, scissors, she's still got that competitive, edge on her, and she wants to see if maybe she can win this time. So she's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And, of course, she throws paper. And Minorikawa tries to throw rock, but his knuckles and hand are all beaten, and he can't do it properly. So he winds... just the first 2 fingers on his hand are the ones that are working. So he tries to throw rock, but he looks like he's throwing scissors.
Yeah, in this ending, we don't know that that's what he's trying to do. We have to go to his ending.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like halfway between a rock and a scissors.
And Tama assumes scissors and is like, I am just the worst.
The bad ending is, I am terrible at rock, paper, scissors.
It's so good.
But... Oh, yeah, and the bad ending there is named Rochambeau, which, that got a laugh out of me. So, the actual correct answer is a straight-up fight.
For the record, there's a rhyming game one, which is a very quick joke where she's trying to rhyme words, but,
So,
yeah.
I did see this both English and Japanese. This is a much better joke in Japanese.
Okay.
It's shiritori, if you know what that is. It appears a lot in anime.
I imagined.
Is that the thing where
Where
you're
you have
supposed
to...
I was gonna...
Yeah, you have to say something, and then the next person have to say something that starts with the last syllable of the last thing said.
Oh.
It's a very popular,
yeah, I've heard them before. Yeah.
party game in Japan. She doesn't work in English. And the joke is that Tama really wants to play it, and she does her best, and Miku doesn't even try. She just coincidentally says things that start with the last syllable Tama says.
Oh, yeah.
And then Tama loses immediately, because the way you lose this game is if you say something that ends with n, which is the only like non-open syllable you can have in Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
And Tama, like after 3 rounds, just does it and loses. And then they go to the fight, to do the actual fight.
Yeah, she's just like, forget it, let's just have a fight.
But it's funny in Japanese. It's not really funny in English, the way they translated it.
It isn't funny in English at all.
Nah, it's ridiculous. 'Cause in English, it's just like you have to kind of rhyme, and your first word has to rhyme with the last word of what they say, and then you have like a sentence and stuff. And Miku doesn't kind of even realize that they're playing, but she's saying things that are consistently rhyming, but says the word scissors, which Tama can't rhyme. And then it's just like, yeah, forget it. Let's just street fight.
But it feels very forced. You know, it's like one of those things where like, we don't know how to do this in English, so we'll just do it like a half-assed version. But which, you know, I don't know if there's a good way to do it.
Well, you know, what they could have done is just had a rap battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to write.
Not if Tama loses immediately. Like, you know, you just gotta have Miku drop a few
Few bars.
raps. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing was that she does lose, so you could have done literally anything. That would have been better than whatever they did, but, you know, whatever.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The joke is that Miku wins without even trying, without even knowing she's playing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's really clear in English because the rhymes are bad and it says entire sentence, but only the first word is the rhyme.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work.
So they go to the street fight, and you know they step outside, and Miku's got her boxing gloves on.
Did she? I don't know if she says it quite. But she's like an MMA fighter. This isn't like
she's like a champion level fighter at like a cosplay bar. But she's like a professional fighter.
We can go into how she got into fighting in Minorikawa.
Yeah. No, the point I'm just trying to make is it's not like one of those like sexy fight kind of things, you know? Like she's supposed to be like an actual fighter, you know?
Well, it's kind of unclear because there's like a flyer she gives out where it's like an octagon ring where anything goes, but also guys can just go there and drink and look at the fights. So it's like,
I guess no, yeah. And I'm my point though is that like it's not Miku actually knows how to fight is the point I'm trying to get across.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it.
So yeah, we have Miku, the actual fighter, versus Tama, the girl in a cat outfit.
Yes.
And they're out on the streets and drawing a crowd. And I have in my notes, Tama is a great warrior. Because it seems like this is the one thing that she's good at. Where Miku kind of tries to throw a punch at her, and she kind of... like, there's cartoon sounds and everything, but she just kind of lets it glance off her. And then she tries a kick, and, you know, the mascot head cushions it, and then she, like, grabs her foot and walks her back and makes her off balance. And it's supposed to be this thing like, wow, Tama's super strong. So Miku just kind of is defeated and is looking up at her, and she's like, who are you? And Tama's like, as you can see, I am a cat.
It's so good.
So Miku goes through this thing where it's like, well, I guess I have to retire now. I guess I'm not as good at fighting as I thought. And I don't know if Tama really has anything to say to that.
Yeah, wow. I was disappointed in Miku for that. I feel like that, you know, just because you've been bested in battle doesn't mean you have to give up fighting forever.
Well, to be fair, you got bested by someone wearing a big mascot outfit.
Yeah, but this is just time to go into the hyperbolic time chamber and train. This is just your rivalry starting.
Yeah, it's time for her to become a mascot fighter now. She's gonna go get her own suit.
I think this is kind of like parodying like that Street Fighter trope, you know, of like, I finally found someone who bested me. Now my search is over, or what, you know what I mean? That kind of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like Ryu just doesn't do anything but fight people, you know, like he has no breaks or vacations. It's just like, that's just my job, whatever, you know, that kind of thing. But that said, it is disappointing. Especially because she doesn't realize, like, the cosplay armor is, like, 90% of this, but whatever. Cosplay mascot.
So Tama wins the burning hammer, and she actually goes to pay for it, but the shopkeeper was just like, nah, take it. You know, after that display, you're good to go.
I just got off. Holy shit.
I've learned something about myself.
Yeah, something's become awakened inside of me.
I know where I must go, and he goes to some subreddit.
Thank you, Tama. God bless you. Anyway, they do this POV shot where it's like the guy pointing at like the camera, and he's like, you can use this dolly to take the burning hammer there. It's like he's pointing at me. He's like, am I the dolly? Am I the new character? But she loads up the dolly and she's running to make it to the demo, and she makes it just in time to meet up with her boss, who's talking to Minorikawa, and he spirits her away to the back and is like, okay, we've got our product, so Chiri, you go out there and or actually no,
Chiri's already out there doing magic tricks, meaning drinking giant jugs of orange juice.
Yeah, Chiri's great magic trick of eating a lot of food, really cool. So
To be totally fair, I think the orange juice was pretty funny. Like, it didn't, like, read to me as, like, a fat joke necessarily, you know? Like, it was just sort of random and odd.
yeah,
I don't know.
maybe not until it's later revealed that she actually drank it all. So
alright.
they go into the back. There's this short little scene where the service guy from the mascot suit place comes. That's the name of the place, by the way. The mascot suit place.
Yeah, he has a great backstory, though.
Yeah, the backstory that he hates his dad for being a furry.
Ever since I was young, my dad was so disappointed. But he can't get the mascot suit undone because the zipper's, you know, jammed. So I don't know why they brought him in, just to reinforce that. Chiri offers to go out and do more animal impressions in order to stall for time because Yanagashita wanted Tama out there out of the mascot suit as like a model. And apparently Chiri's animal impressions are all limited to aquatic mammals. And I don't know if that's just another joke, but you know, that's what it is. So Tama goes out there and starts hawking the product, and it's like, it's amazing, just one drink a day, and you'll lose 1 kilogram or however much it is. And Chiri comes out, and she's supposed to drink it and get all sweaty to show that, you know, it burns and the product works. But when she comes out, she's already sweaty. And it's because she drank so much orange juice.
You ever get those orange juice sweats?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess from, like, 3 gallons of it, you know?
Yeah, to be fair, that's probably way more acid than your stomach can handle, so it wouldn't be surprising that bad things are happening.
I mean, we're laughing, but Shiri needs medical attention.
Yeah, honestly. That's like really close to H2O poisoning, never mind the fact that she's also, yeah, like there is water in there that's too much to take in.
Oh, Chiri.
So she wipes the sweat off and then drinks the product, but doesn't sweat. And I don't know if that signifies anything, or maybe it's because she drank all the orange juice, but the crowd doesn't like it because it looks like the product doesn't work. And they get into an argument, Tama and Chiri do, and it slips out that, Tama was taking too long at the 100 yen shop, and the crowd hears this and they realize that this product that they're selling for I don't know how much yen, like 10 times the amount, is coming from a 100 yen shop. And I don't know what the correct choice here is, or if any of the choices matter. But as Tama, you can try and smooth things over.
Also, not 10 times, try 1,000 times.
Well, yeah, that just illustrates the point further.
It's like 15,000 yen for each bottle or some shit. Because he bought it for 3,300.
I think they wanted 15,000 yen for it.
God.
But one of the choices you can make is you can just say hunk of lamb chop, which I didn't realize what that was supposed to be, so I just picked it.
Yeah, I did too.
And I realized afterwards, oh, it sounds like 100 yen shop.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, no, what she actually said was hunk of a lamb chop, which is, it makes you feel like you ate a full meal or something. And this vicious crowd of middle-aged women just goes nuts. Like, they're...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask Oren, like, what is this in Japanese?
I don't remember the exact thing, but it's the same kind of pan. Something that sounds like 100 yen shop. I don't remember the exact one.
Yep. So we get these shots of the... they're like zombies, honestly. Like, the way they attack everything.
It's very stop motion where they're just like, oh,
yeah,
there they are.
Just these middle-aged women with, like, the Far Side glasses on are just tearing shit up and punching, you know, they're punching Chiri, they're punching Yanagashita, they're punching Tama, and there's, like, a picture where it's, like, there's people, like, grabbing her head, but there's also somebody that's just tweaking the whiskers. Like, it's like some guy, like, beating the shit out of somebody, and then he goes for, like, a Three Stooges eye poke. So the rental suit is damaged, and, he's talking to the rental suit guy, and he's like, you know what? I can't take it back like this. You're liable for the full price, which is like 200,000 yen. And it's this scene where he's trying to squirm out of it. And he's like, what did you say? That's 200,000 yen. What? I'm sorry, my eardrum's ruptured. 200,000 yen. Okay, 20,000 fine. You drive a hard bargain. And he's like, no, that's not what I said. And he's like, but I have insurance. And he's like, no, you don't. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Okay, where are your papers? And he folds his arms across his chest and he goes, the paperwork is in my heart.
I laughed out loud on the bus for that one.
I did. That was this guy. I love him.
Yeah, Yanagashita owns so hard.
Mm-hmm.
The paperwork was in my heart.
Also, nobody in this game, with the possible exception of Detective Banana, does better job in these individual shots of just being a fucking character in, like, single shots. Like, this guy, everything he does is just, he captures this incredibly complex, crazy person in a single frame.
He does. Like, the writing is really cool, but, like, his physical comedy is really nice.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Like, the guy's funny, honestly. So, there is a scene later on, I forget, there's a little lapse in my notes here, but it's Tama talking to Yanagashita, and he's just completely miserable.
Yeah. The costume guy gets mad and leaves, and so that's the end of that. He's just like, this isn't worth it, and he just leaves.
Yeah, I'll leave it to my boss, and it's like, I guess there's another person that hates my guts. So Yanagashita's on his knees and just crying, and he's in despair. Nothing's working out. And Tama is like, you're not the only person that's been having some bad luck. And she has this kind of, like, serious talk with her boss about how she has amnesia and she can't remember anything from before this morning. And she took the name Tama because of the things inside the lunchboxes with Chiri. Like, I guess it's like Tamago-yam something.
Yeah, she saw the eggs. Knows. She saw the eggs. Eggs are Tamago in.
And thinking back to it, like, she's kind of stuttering and unsure of herself back in that scene, but I just thought it was because she was hungry. And it turns out that no, she had amnesia and she was hungry.
Bad day.
A lot of people are hungry in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a climax where someone drinks the burning hammer while they're hungry, and that saves the day.
Well, no, it kills them and gets them a bad ending. Or maybe that's the objective, to get someone else's good ending, is to make someone else have a bad ending by dying.
Yeah.
Tariq's gonna do it, and then...
That's how they take him out finally, as he drinks the burning hammer and dies.
They throw it in his open mouth. Achi does.
Smile, you motherfucker.
Like,
God.
I've never had a game made me hungrier or more wanting of a cigarette than this game, and I'm not even addicted to cigarettes. I'm just like, damn it, I just want a cigarette and to write a bunch of shit.
Okay. So they're having this heart-to-heart, and it's almost kind of a genuine thing where after hearing about all these problems that Tama has, Yanagashita is like, wow, maybe I'm not so unlucky after all. And he's like pulls out his secret stash where it's like, okay, he had it in his shoe.
I love that too, that he just lied to that man.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's who he is. He's just a liar, and he'll squirm out of everything. But this person who's been there with him through the whole thing, it's like he's got that loyalty, you know? So he takes out his secret stash from his shoe and pays Tama the 20,000 yen.
Maybe our real friends were the people we exploited along the way.
Well, I mean, seriously, Leo. Like, I know it's kind of a plot point and it moves the story, but, like, Tama could have bailed, like, at any given time throughout this entire thing after one thing after another went wrong.
Oh, she had a catsuit on.
Yeah, but you can go cut that shit up with scissors. It's not your mascot suit. It's not her suit. Like, what does she give a fuck if the stuff gets ruined? She's not going to get paid either way.
I give Tama a little bit of leeway because of the, like, amnesia, because it's also like her whole plot point's like, I really want that necklace. I don't even know why I want that necklace, but I really want that necklace.
Oh yeah, like she explains that she saw it in the knick-knack shop where she woke up. Like she woke up in the storeroom and it's like, I this necklace is connected to me somehow. I have to have it.
But is there like a worse character motivation if you want to be technical about it than like, I want to buy something? I gotta save up. Not even that expensive. I just don't have any money.
What do you think's in there? Do you think it's the antiviral or something?
I'll bet it's probably the fucking antiviral, honestly. It's just in a knick-knack shop somewhere for some reason.
Yeah, or Osawa, that's how Osawa didn't inject her with it. He gave it to her like that. You know.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Osawa actually didn't invent the antiviral. He actually just is one of those healing crystal bombs.
The knick-knack guy probably just stole it off her when she got knocked out, right? Like, you know, in the process of being kidnapped, it fell off, and he just like found it, put it in his store.
Maybe a goose stole it from her and then put it back in the knick-knack store.
I don't know about a goose returning something to a store, but maybe returning something to a store that isn't supposed to be sold there. I could see a goose doing that.
Well, no, she's making the goose. I mean, or the goose is making Tama rebuy what's already hers.
Yeah.
Yes,
that sounds plausible.
That's the joke I was going for.
The goose probably injected the virus, honestly.
Oh my god.
Let's be honest, the goose probably invented the virus.
Yeah, Osawa doesn't figure into it at all. Like, this company's just paying him to do nothing, and it was the goose that did everything.
Oh, did we mention that the reason Yanagashita is in debt is because he spent all his money at Bribe watching Miku fight?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So he took out the loan to pay off the debt.
Honestly, when I heard about the cosplay wrestling and it's just like a lounge where you can have drinks, I'm like, fuck yeah, that sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, what is a better motivation for this character than to pay off a bar debt?
Yeah.
Yanagashita is so good.
Okay, let's wrap this up. This is bullshit. Because what you can do is you can pass Minorikawa on the way out of the demo, you know, leaving Yanagashita, and you get this choice where it's like, I'm still in the mascot outfit, or, you know, I can take the mascot outfit off now, but either way, you go to the knick-knack shop. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to, from Achi's route, use the word cat tip to jump to Tama to clear the keep out, because it gives you a keep out there. But if you take the head off, you can't do that because you're not a cat anymore. It only works if you decide not to take the head off.
If it's a little more helpful, and it's not really, if you took the cat suit off, the assassin can wear it.
Right.
Which will throw off and kill Achi. So Tama needs to wear it for a little longer to save them.
I mean, you say that, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and say, once you take the suit off, you're not a cat anymore, so the jump doesn't work.
All right.
It's technical, this time rewinding thing.
That's fine.
So if you decide to stay a cat and go to the knick-knack shop, you can go there to buy the thing. And the suit is so damaged that the zipper is not stuck anymore. And I love that it's this dramatic reveal. It's a full motion video where you're bowing to the guy, who's selling you the thing. And the head rolls off, just kind of off in the distance, and she's looking into a mirror dramatically. And I fucking called it. It's the sister.
No. You didn't call shit. Slowbeef was right.
I didn't say it, but I was thinking it.
Okay.
I figured...
No, I was waiting for that moment where I could say Slowbeef was right. And by the way, you circled that for a long fucking time. I'm just gonna mention, my friend. But anyway, sorry.
Well, this is a dramatic moment. I have to draw it out.
Yeah, I think you weren't in the episode of Slowbeef, actually. Right at the beginning of Tama's story. So that she's Maria.
To be fair, it's not.
So, we were talking over each other a little bit. Who was Tama again while I take a sip of my coffee?
Tama's Maria!
What?
What? Couldn't have seen that coming.
Shocking.
Who could have guessed? But anyway, that's Tama's to be continued.
A note to the folks at home, in this very special episode where everyone takes notes except for Devious Vacuum. Look how long these motherfuckers are taking. Each of them wants their own podcast. I swear to God, it's been an hour and 15 minutes.
It's taken a while, right? That's why I was gonna go next, and then do a funny thing and be fast.
So that all the pressure is on Turbo to go as fast as possible.
Well, now the joke doesn't work. But guess whose fault that was? It's you. You've done the keep out on all of us, technically, by not choosing me. Make that joke.
Sorry, I had to unlock you to make the podcast go faster.
Well, anyway, that's my keep out. I'm gonna jump to somebody else.
Yeah, also about Maria, the beginning of the next chapter, there's a really cute animation in the character selection screen of Tama taking the costume off.
And by the way, yeah, and even if you go to the past now, Tama's and then you still have this open this route, Tama's name is now Maria, permanently.
Bullshit. No, it isn't. It's Tama.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I refuse.
You've hacked the game.
All right,
Slowbeef.
all right. Minorikawa.
Before we start, I learned this week that Minorikawa is not an original character for this game.
What?
What?
Yeah, he was a minor character in another Toonsoft game before that, and they just decided to use him.
What game?
Never came out in English. Also, won't come in English because it's a voice-only game with no subtitles, so you can't even fan translate it. But it's a PS2 game, considered to be very good. I haven't played it.
What's it called?
Sanen Bigumi no Kimpachi Sensei.
Cool. Glad I asked.
So how does a voice only game work?
No, it's an adventure game, visual novel, but it's very cinematic. So it's just animated scenes with voices.
He's saying it's voice acting. All the cutscenes are voice acted, but there's no subtitles.
Yeah, and there's no text at all. It's just voice.
Hey! Look! Minorikawa, alright? It's 1300 o'clock. He's in Center Guide. He's sprinting to that Burning Hammer sales demo, right? But then we have a flashback. And he learns that Toyama used to be his... And he says boss, even though he means copy editor, which is not your boss as far as I know. I think in newspaper journalism stuff, it's really an editor, not a copy editor per se. But, whatever. But Toyama used to be a really tough editor called the Red Pen Gatekeeper. All the reporters feared him, but Minorikawa would get in his face and say, "Why won't you publish my articles?" And Toyama would be like, "Because this article, it sucks. The whole thing is wrong," which I think makes him a terrible copy editor. And he's he said that we want your articles to be more neutral, even though he told Minorikawa to be more bold and daring. But at any rate, Tama quit the newspaper to start his own publishing company, but he lost his ideals and principles, and Minorikawa resents Tama for this. For cheapening himself to sell his publishing company. Well, anyway, Minorikawa runs right into a high school girl accidentally as he's sprinting, and she grabs him by the collar. And your choice to this woman who we don't know yet, because this is the first route I picked too, is to apologize or to punch her in the butt. I mean, the game said flank, but that's how I read it. So of course I chose that. And then in my notes I said, "Is this the right choice?" Question mark, exclamation point. She nearly beats him to death, and it's like animated as she's punching him on the ground. But it turns out she goes, "Wait a minute, I know you. It's Miku, who we knew from 5 years ago." In middle school, she's a bonsai champion, and Minorikawa interviewed her when her display was ruined by vandals, and she was vowed to become strong to beat them up. So Minorikawa introduces her to a martial arts instructor, and that's how she becomes the MMA fighter that we know in other routes. Anyway, she has a flyer. She works at Ladies MMA Pub Bride, or a Ladies MMA Pub, which is called Bride, and with the flyer you can get a free drink. And then he goes, "Well, I'm on my way to a sales demo," and she's like, "Oh my god, I'll take you there." And he gets on her back, and she runs to the sales demo. So he basically rides her there, which is kind of great. This is leading to a bad end, by the way, but that's fine. We'll keep going.
And not for him. Not
for him, right?
No kink shaming though.
Not for him, for Tama, right? So basically, we're gonna have to undo this, but it is really funny to see her like run him there. Basically what happens is she's the person buying the burning hammer, so if she has this little delay, she's not there for Tama to get the burning hammer from. Anyhow, and that's the whole like chupacabra thing. But forgetting that. Alright, so explaining that then, the right choice was to apologize to her, which says she goes, "Wait a minute, Minorikawa, it's me, Miku," and you have that whole introduction again. Whew, okay, basically, he ends up at the sales demo regardless. And he sees all these posters thrown together at the last minute. They claim 100% weight loss, and he's like, "This is really crappily thrown together." There's a lot of female attendees in the demo room, and then now if you did this route first, by the way, Tama appears on stage with the Miracle Stone, and people start to object that it's not burning hammer, but Tama kind of like waves it rhythmically and says, "Don't take your eyes off the pendant. If you do, you'll die."
And they all buy it. They all are like, "Oh, I gotta look at it."
Well, she hypnotizes them. That's what I
Yeah,
got
she hypnotized him because he blacks out and he wakes up handing over 10,000 yen, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then for the Miracle Stone, and then there's a picture of him holding it and it's glowing in his hands, and he's like, "I've done it." And he's so enthralled, he
Ultimate power.
He deletes everything he's written to write about Miracle Stone, and he writes a bunch of them, and Toyama is like, "Nah, I'm axing all of these." So that's bad end. This is what happened. Basically, as Tama, you have to decide, no, I want to sell the burning hammer, which then undoes this, and now, of course, when Minorikawa arrives, Chiri's on stage doing magic tricks, as we know. Minorikawa is getting impatient and thinks she's also not good at magic. And he approaches Yanagashita, which I'm so glad that they got to talk, you know. And he says, and Yanagashita like stalls him. And he's like, "The real delay is starting soon." And he goes like, and then Minorikawa points at him and goes, "You have 3 minutes to start this demo or else." And he says, "Or else what?" And you can say, "I'll be heartbroken, I'll start a ruckus, or I'll go home." I don't know why I'm a violent Minorikawa here, but I said start a ruckus. So then Minorikawa starts counting down, and then you get a keep out, which is annoying.
With some aggressive finger pointing too, like this is some world class. Like, "You've got 3, 2 big ass fingers in your face."
Yeah. He's like, "It hasn't even been a minute yet."
How does your clock work?
So I have this in my notes that Tama at 1305 actually will clear the keep out once you do the Miku thing and get the burning hammer, which is what happened to me. But at any rate, Tama arrives with more burning hammer. The sales demo can finally begin. Tama reveals, of course, 100 yen shop. You know this.
You skipped one bad ending, though. The one where Tama doesn't show up.
Oh, I had that at the end of my notes.
Okay, but
by the way.
Now.
But okay, all right, fine, we'll do it here. So if Tama doesn't show
Tell
up...
us.
Huh? So, yeah, Tama doesn't show up, of course. Everybody riots. I have to go to my notes to see this. Let's see here.
TikTok, motherfucker.
They riot because Minorikawa tells everyone that it's a sham.
That's right, yeah, that's right. He tells everybody that this is a sham, that he's, like, running a con. But then Yanagishita says, no, I'm a pacifist. And he's threatening me. I'm a pacifist. And first he demands 3 million yen in reparations from Minorikawa for this accusation. And then he tells the crowd that Minorikawa is a bad journalist to spread rumors and ruin his business, so there'll be no burning hammer to sell at all. Damn you, Minorikawa. And the crowd buys this.
And no toys for the children.
So there's pictures of people, like, beating up Minorikawa and trashing the whole place. And he comes to, like, buried, and he sees Tama. This is after everyone's left. Tama comes up to him really blurry, and he says he thinks it's death. And he goes, no, I'm not going down like this. Death, I challenge you fairly to a game of rock, paper, scissors. And and then Tama, of course, as we know, always throws paper. And Minorikawa tries to throw rock, but, of course, his hand is gnarled. But the thing is that he knows he threw rock. So even though Tama thinks she lost, Minorikawa thinks he lost as well and succumbs to death.
Amazing.
He fucking dies from rock, paper, scissors. It's kind of wonderful.
I remain...
But let's rewind time again. So that didn't happen. Shit, now where the hell was I in my notes? Okay, so anyway, Tama, so now in our correct timeline, Tama arrives at the Burning Hammer. The sales demo begins with Yanagishita cheering Tama. Tama accidentally spills the beans. Minorikawa tries to snap pictures, but no one's answering his questions because they're so upset. So, let's see here. Minorikawa passes by Tama, who seems disappointed, but he manages to interview Yanagishita, who tells him he was hoping to repay his debts with this. And he says there's always tomorrow. Yanagishita actually seems determined, which we now know is from his conversation with Tama. And what's great is, if you did this route first, Yanagishita mentions that there's a girl he was in love with, and that's what led to the debt, but they don't extrapolate on that at all. And then you just learn, no, he's just into, like, a girl who's at a bar, like, who's fighting, So that's kind of great. So, anyway, and then Minorikawa tells him about Toyama's debt. You can have a choice to ask him about Shibuya now, or just like, nah, I'm good. But if you do ask him about Shibuya now, which is the wrong choice, Minorikawa says, how do you feel about your life right now? And Yanagishita says he feels lucky because despite everything, Tama and Chiri stuck with him. And then someone knocks on the door and Yanagishita rushes out, but we don't see who. Sounds like Yanagishita's arguing with two men. Minorikawa thinks it must be angry customers or something, and in an odd piece of non-investigation doesn't really seem to follow up or care. Now, I don't know if we want to talk about that bad ending yet, or I'll just keep going with my notes. So outside, the guy who had talked to Minorikawa about the surveillance cameras suddenly grabs his hand and he says, I got a scoop for you. I saw a foreign guy in handcuffs arguing with someone who looked like a detective, but the detective undid the guy's handcuffs and walked right off. I think it's bribery, and I want you to report it, he tells Minorikawa, because he's afraid police won't believe a guy like him. And Morikawa's like, yeah, probably not, which I think was really judgmental, but all right, what do I know?
Dun dun dun. Who let Tariq go?
A detective of some kind. Minorikawa makes that call. The man thanks him and says he can't get business done with all these scary thugs around, but runs... he runs off when Minorikawa presses it on that. Anyway, so Minorikawa gets back to Lautrec. It's almost 2 o'clock, and he has 6 pages to type out, and he sees an old man complaining there's no good magazines to the staff. And he doesn't know who this old man is, but there's one ornery old man at Lautrec I can think of. Anyway, the waitress tries to give him a 4-star general gossip magazine, funnily enough. But he says it's trash. And Minorikawa's like, well, that's true. But he picks it up. Yeah. He's like, he finds a scratch card still inside and realizes what led to Toyama's downfall. So he rips it up, which upsets the staff for like a second. Anyway, then he calls Chiaki, and things went great. She got to talk to people. She's ready to write an article, and everything's coming up Minorikawa until he goes to type, and he realizes his laptop is taking too long to boot up, and then and then it dies. And then he's like, oh my god, my laptop. God damn it.
I think he's gonna have to go to, like, Achi's dad to get his computer repaired or something.
Oh, maybe. Wait, didn't he already, like, kind of, like, strong-arm Achi's dad for info?
Yeah, so I wonder what his options are. But that's the only, like, computer repair-related lead that we have in this.
What if Yanagishita's really good with computers?
There's
Like he
no
wouldn't
way.
have gotten himself into that kind of a situation.
There's about 20 other ways he could have made money if he was really good at computers.
He's also really dumb, though.
All right. Yeah, we're all dumb. Us computer people, though. But let's finish up with Kano.
All right, so Kano. Let's start off with the bad end, where if there was not a traffic jam. So Kano and Jack Stanley. I just have Stanley written in my notes.
Jack Stanley. Oh my god.
I just have his last name, so I'm calling him Stanley for the entirety of it.
I keep calling him Agent Smith because he's got those glasses.
He does.
I love when Japanese writers have to come up with American names and they pick like two first names. Because I know there's people that are named two first names, but it like always happens and it's so funny to me.
It's never like first names that make a last name. Like Stanley. It doesn't really work.
A bunch of people out there with the last name Stanley are offended that you said that.
It's one
Stanley
person.
Jack.
It could have been, you know? It could have been.
It's actually Stan Stanley. Like, wait a minute.
Stanley. Oh, wait. But yeah, he's, God, it's so funny to me. It's like, he's the American, with the most American name.
Yeah. So, Stanley and Kano, if there is not a traffic jam, will immediately head to the Syndicate hideout, and then the place is called Black Lodge Pub, if you just need another Twin Peaks reference. So, Kano knows this place as it's usually filled with expats and is apparently a hotbed of criminal activity. They hear a commotion behind the door once they get there, glass shattering and stuff falling to the floor. I thought this was Tama because I played this one first, but no. What actually happens is Kano does not follow Stanley's orders and immediately busts through the door, and basically every foreign man in Shibuya is stabbed to death on the floor. Kano deduces that the killer is still nearby and starts looking around. Meanwhile, Stanley behind him falls down, stabbed through the back. Kano didn't see the killer and is still like looking around, ready to shoot at a moment's notice, but then is immediately stabbed in the back of his neck, and we realize that one of the corpses on the ground was not actually dead. So that's our bad end. We needed someone that was there to cause a traffic jam, presumably so that the killer is not there. Though we don't know
When
that.
Kano dies, you see a blurry figure of a woman, and I thought it was Maria as well, but it can't be because she's Tama. So I wonder if that blurry figure is Kanan.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, it's kind of confirmed at the end of kind of the chapter.
Yeah. Kanan is mentioned again at the end of the chapter. I thought they were talking about the place, but yeah, now I'm thinking it's a name. So if there is a traffic jam, basically Stanley and Kano have a discussion in the car. Kano starts worrying that the case is getting out of hand. There's too many unknowns. He doesn't know what the hell is happening with Tateno. And Stanley breaks the silence by asking pretty much exactly what Kano is worrying about. And then he immediately badmouths Tateno because he couldn't even keep track of Hitomi. At that moment, Kano sees outside the window as they're driving that Sasayama is in a fight. Still in his otaku get-up. Kano Kano immediately busts out of the car, much to Stanley's chagrin, and we see Tariq Al-Karawan, the guy called David Tennant, fighting Sasayama. Kano fucking suplexes the guy. Immediately, like, he throws him onto a dumpster, and he is out cold.
This guy not having a great day.
Yeah. Stanley comes up and does one of the best backhanded compliments ever, which was, that was some pretty good brawn, but we need a little work on the brains.
Womp womp.
So, Kano checks on Sasayama. Stanley's angry because he's just like, fucking cuff the guy. Like, why are you worrying about the other dude? And he's wondering if, like, all Japanese police just constantly ignore orders. So, after we check on Sasayama, we start cuffing Al-Karwan, and we see that he has a tattoo of a two-headed scorpion on his arm.
And the word skull. Not a skull. The word skull.
The word skull.
The word skull. They didn't bring up the word skull, but it is there in the picture. I'm not sure why. So Kano mentions that he heard a while back from headquarters that the head of the foreign crime syndicate had a tattoo of a two-headed scorpion. So we're pretty sure this guy's the ringleader. They tell Sasayama to take him back to the precinct while Kano gets a call from Shizuo, Rumi's dad.
Great. Good timing.
Yeah, so he basically just guilts Kano, goes off on this tirade. This is why I don't want my daughter marrying a cop, all that sort of things. And Kano just goes, sort of meekly, but weren't you a cop? Which just sets him off even more. This basically goes nowhere. He just gets very angry.
So there's another choice here where you can hang up on Shizuo, and then Kano gets a string of wrong calls for every other character in the game.
Yeah, I thought that would be a bad ending or something, but it just doesn't seem to, like, I didn't get it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, just people start calling him, and one of them was trying to reach Achi's dad, I guess.
Yeah.
And it sounds like something's going on with Achi's sister in the hospital from that.
Oh no.
Huh.
And there's another... Who else? He gets another call. I can't remember what it is.
Minorikawa, I think, calls him. Or somebody trying to, maybe something...
Or someone calling Minorikawa, maybe?
Maybe, you're right, yeah.
It's kind of weird because in Osawa's... one of his bad ends or something, Detective Banana gets a call from Kano. And I was wondering if that would tie in, but I didn't see it anywhere in my playthrough, at least.
No, I mean, you can choose to call.
Oh yeah, that's
later.
right.
Yeah. At any rate, yeah, it's just an odd thing that I don't think it will never be explained.
All right. So after we get off the phone with Shizuo, Stanley and Kano get stuck in traffic. We meet Miku, I think it was, and she mentions that this was caused by a big accident by the train station. Stanley tells Kano that the gang is most likely after Osawa's drug, the antidote. Kano is sort of like thinking that it was the money, and Stanley just sort of says, no, it's drugs. And we reveal that a international criminal mastermind is using this foreign syndicate as a tool to get Osawa's drug. So our orders to be tailing these guys and not to catch them was pretty much from Stanley's organization so that they could try and catch this international criminal mastermind. Stanley says he doesn't really care who gets kidnapped, which makes Kano really mad, and we get a dictum.
Yes, they're back.
Number 8, when you really want to punch something, you really probably shouldn't.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Good advice.
So after this reveal, we get the opportunity to call Sasayama or Fujiwara. So if we call Sasayama says he's got Tateno watching over Al-Karawan, because he bumped into Tateno a little bit back ago. Kano is really confused what what happened to Tateno. Apparently he lost track of Hitomi, which Kano notes is not like him, and got ordered to go back to the precinct. So Sasayama bumped into him while they were both heading back to the precinct. So Sasayama said, "Hey, if you're going back there, can you take this perp with you?" And Sasayama went back to tailing the attaché case.
And we know from the other route that Tariq Al-Karawan gets let go. So there you go. Tateno's in on the conspiracy. Also, who do you think the international criminal mastermind is? Do you think it's a character we have seen so far, or someone else?
I think it might be Kanan.
Tanaka.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with someone we haven't seen before. There is one more character left.
But I mean, I don't know who Kanan is. That might be Maria's real name. The driver.
Dun dun dun!
So immediately after we hang up on Sasayama, we notice Al-Karawan out and about. Kano immediately walks over and tackles him again. And Al-Karawan's just like, "Hey, man, they let me go. It was all a big misunderstanding. Don't worry about it." Stanley is just like, "You guys suck at your job. Kano, please take him back to the precinct." This is a bad end, by the way.
The police isn't very competent in this game.
No, they really don't.
Yeah. So, if they do see him again, Kano takes Al-Karawan back to the precinct and interrogates him for several hours. Al-Karawan keeps asking what time it is, to like very specific. Like Kano says it's 2:18. Al-Karawan says, "But how many seconds?" Till eventually it Al-Karawan notices it's 2:20 on Kano's wristwatch. He says, "Okay, then that should do it." Hinting at something, but we don't know what, because the interrogation just keeps going on for hours and nothing happens, and that's the bad end. So it took me a while to find, but basically we just need to make sure that when we're in Minorikawa, don't ask Yanagishita about his life for Shibuya now. And when that happens, that makes Yanagishita jump in front of Kano's car when they notice Al-Karawan. So Kano can't jump out and tackle Al-Karawan because Yanagishita is like, "Yo man, let me use this car, I need your help."
Please.
And he's pressing his face up against the window, it's so good. So yeah, all of Yanagishita's frantic pleading blocks us from going after Al-Karawan.
Don't his pants get pulled off at one point too?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't remember that. Well, okay.
He's got the heart boxers.
Yeah, the heart boxers.
Oh, of course.
Maybe that depends on what, you have a choice of 3 options when all of them go to the same place, but maybe one of them, is for heart boxers.
One of the ridiculous options is like, because it's mostly like push him away, but one of them is like pull him in, which is like,
yeah, let him into the car.
Yeah. And you get in like a tug of war sort of fight with the guys outside, and they pull his pants off, basically, which leads to that.
Yeah, okay. So, anyways, Al-Karawan gets away, and Stanley says that Tateno is obviously betraying them. Kano doesn't believe it. And then we get a flashback that to like the beginning of the day. Tateno is lecturing Kano about this ransom drop-off, how it's weird that they're doing it at this big crowded intersection, and that it's being done by the sister instead of literally anyone else. So Tateno's at least not entirely in on it, that seems to be. But anyways, we finally get back to the Black Lodge pub after getting through the traffic jam. We burst on in through the door, and everyone's still dead on the floor. But there's one guy still left alive, and he says Kanan. Or Kanan.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. So, anybody else notice that Turbo kept mispronouncing Tateno? Alright. Anyway, so.
Well, you all keep pronouncing Yanagishita, and I'm not saying anything.
Wait,
what?
Well, you all keep,
you
keep mispronouncing Kano.
Yeah.
You, Oren, I mean. It's obviously the Mortal Kombat character. But, anyway.
Look, the correct pronunciation is Detective Banana.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't we all just get along on Detective Banana?
We can.
So yeah, I'm excited about Mariah next time.
I'm not. I'm a little
Yeah.
less excited about her. It's like...
The conspiracy is coming together. I think we figured out a lot of big pieces. We kind of had figured out what was going on with Toteno last time at the end, and it becomes more clear in this chapter. We also had some folks had astutely intuited that the girl in the cat costume was Maria.
Yeah, I intuited it.
Mm-hmm. Great job, everyone.
Everyone at home gains 100 points who guessed that.
Yeah, you get a VNBC Gold Star sticker.
We're putting it up on the wall. Look, it's right there. Look at that. Good for you.
Put it on the fridge.
That's our merch. We're selling that. It's coming soon. Anyway.
It's weird that we didn't have those while we were playing Danganronpa. But yeah, it's exciting to finally have the conspiracy start to become clear. It is very 24-esque in that like all like the different timelines or the different tracks are starting to merge together more. And I'm sure eventually they'll all be in the same place and something important will happen. It'll be cool.
I have a new theory. You know who the international conspiracy ringleader is? Maria.
Dun dun dun. I thought it might be their mom before I got to the end, and I didn't know who this new female character was because it was just like a silhouette of like a woman with black hair who was blurred out, and I was like, if it can't be either of the twins, I wonder if it's their mother who died, quote unquote died.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, Maria orchestrated the kidnapping of herself.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Maybe to like get the antiviral from her father for some reason, or the virus, or something like that. But then something went wrong. She got hit on the head, and she forgot that she did this.
She was like, there's only
Yeah.
one way I can fool the mastermind known as Achi, and it's by kidnapping myself. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes, man. I mean, any theory is valid right now.
Yeah. Great job, everyone, for taking notes. You all talked for a very long time.
I didn't.
I am still proud of you.
We're only at 140. We're only at 146. It isn't that bad. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it's not the longest episode of VNBC.
We're only at double our normal recording time.
Well, next time I just won't try as hard.
Who are we doing next week?
Yeah, we will probably do that off screen.
I don't want to do Osawa again.
Bye.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm a cat, you know.